What's up, everybody? My name is Josh Osborne.
Matt McCarty.
And this is our UFC Fight Night, Diaz versus Neer predictions. All right, guys, welcome back to another one of our prediction shows. We're going to get right into it, but we are going to skip a couple of the undercards, mainly just for the sake of time, and there's a couple of the guys on that we don't really know that much about, so we're not going to pretend to be experts on those. Yeah. So the first fight that we actually find interesting, we're kind of bummed that it's so low in the list and that it's probably not going to make TV time, and that's Joe Lauzon versus Kyle Bradley. What are you thinking, Matt?
You know, Lauzon's a powerful man. I mean, he knocked out Jensen. I mean, he ripped his head off. He's got a great ground and pound. I read something that Bradley said where he said he wished he'd really been able to get in a rhythm against Lights Out Lytle, but I don't think he's going to be able to get into a rhythm against Lauzon. I don't think that's going to matter in this fight. You know, it's like he may be a guy who has to warm up, but you're not going to get that with Lauzon. You're going to go out there for about 10 seconds, and Lauzon's going to take you down. He might throw one big shot, but I really see Lauzon going out there, maybe throwing one big shot, like I said, going for the takedown and pounding out. I'm going to give Lauzon the TKO. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Lauzon is probably going to be able to take him down at will, but that has to be the key to Kyle Bradley's chances, is if he can avoid the takedown, he has a really good chance. Because if you remember Kenny Florian, he really frustrated Lauzon, and it kind of took him out of his game plan, and it totally messed him up. I don't think he ever lost the desire to finish the fight, but he just wasn't in a position where he can really do anything about it.
Got discouraged.
Yeah, really. And Kyle Bradley's a good fighter. He's coming off that tough loss to Chris Lytle, like you mentioned. It ended in, like, what, 30 seconds?
Yeah, 33 seconds.
So it doesn't give me a lot of confidence in him, so I am going to take Joe Lauzon as well via technical knockout.
All right, guys, next up we got Wilson Gouveia versus Ryan Jensen. Josh, tell me how you think it's going to go down.
All right, you got Wilson Gouveia, who's 4-2 in the octagon, and then you got Jensen, who's 0-2. He's been away for about a year and a half in some other organizations. In this one, I see Gouveia having the advantage when it comes to striking, and I give the ground game advantage to Jensen. But I don't think that's going to be the overriding factor on this one. I think experience is going to be the key, and I think Gouveia has that, so I'm going to give him the win via submission.
Yeah, you know, I think Gouveia, he likes to stand with people.
Yeah,
he's got good jiu-jitsu, but he's willing to stand with people. He'll trade with you. He doesn't care. Last time he fought somebody that got him in a little bit of trouble. But
close fight, though.
Yeah, it was a close fight until he got his head ripped off. But, you know, I think Gouveia is going to go in there, stand up with him, and I think Jensen's going to come in. He's going to try and take him down, do some stupid things, and get triangled by Gouveia.
All right, next matchup, we got Alessio Sakara versus Joe Vedepo, or Vedepo, not sure. Anybody that knows anything about this guy, feel free to comment us.
Yeah.
Matt, what are you thinking?
You know, I'm thinking, I don't know much about Joey V.
Joey V.
I looked him up on SureDog. He seemed pretty well-rounded, but, you know, first time at the big show, I think you're going to get knocked out by Sakara. I just think that's the way it's going to go. I won't give Sakara the straight-up knockout. I think he's going to get a technical knockout. I haven't seen this other guy fight, so who knows? He might have a chin, but, you know, Sakara hits really hard. He's got some pretty good stand-up, and he can get kicked in the balls really hard and not die.
Nice.
What do you think, Josh?
Okay, Vedepo, he has one loss in the other organization that he has fought in, and that was via technical knockout. It just so happens to be Sakara's specialty, coming from that boxing background. So I'm taking Sakara on this one via knockout.
Next up, we got Houston Alexander versus Ravishing Red, Eric Schafer. What do you think, Josh?
I think he needs a new nickname.
Yeah, Ravishing Red. Ravishing Homos.
Okay, you got Houston Alexander. This guy can win in spectacular fashion and lose in spectacular fashion.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a tough one to call, I got to be honest. I mean, everyone's thinking Houston Alexander by knockout probably. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if this one went the other way. Schafer's got some skills as well. Yeah. Since I got to pick, though, I am going to take Houston Alexander by knockout.
Nice, nice. I think Houston can win it, but I think he's going to have just a flash knockout. I think he's going to have to put the leather on Ravishing Red's face.
That's usually how he wins.
You know, that's the only way. That's the only way he wins. Yeah. You know, he can knock people out, but I don't think he's not well-rounded. The second it goes to the ground, he's done. Yeah. So I'm going to give this one to Ravishing Red via Kimura.
I like it. All right, next up we got Ed Herman versus Alan Belcher. Matt, who's going to win and why?
I think it's going to be Herman. I think he's going to come in there pretty aggressive. I think, sometimes Ed Herman's a little crazy. Okay, not sometimes, all the time. You don't really know where he's at in his mental game. You don't know how he's coming into the fight, But I think for the most part, Herman's going to come in there. He's going to throw with him a little bit. He's going to look for the takedown. He's got a pretty good takedown. He's going to pound on him a little bit, but I think he's going to finish the fight with an armbar. What do you think?
Armbar, nice. I couldn't agree with you more. Ed Herman is a great fighter, very aggressive. It's great for the fans because he always tries to put on a good show, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
But he gets a little careless sometimes. He's one of those guys that just rushes in and doesn't really think too much. I think that's the key for Belcher to win this fight, is to look for that opening and try to be the smarter fighter in this one.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen, though. I'm giving this one to the Short Fuse.
Short Fuse.
Definitely not hiding anything with that nickname, is it?
Yeah, no,
Red
not
hair,
at all.
short fuse, little loopy, kind of just all goes together, doesn't it? But I'm giving this one to Herman nonetheless via submission.
All right, coming up next, we got Clay Guida, the Carpenter, versus Mac Danzig. What do you think about this fight, Josh?
I think it's going to be fight of the night. I think out of all the fights, I'm most looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
I see this one as the battle of the patient one versus the aggressive one. We all know which one is which for sure on this one.
If you don't,
Guida,
you're retarded.
Yeah, exactly. Guida, to win this one, he's going to have to take Danzig down.
Yep.
And he's going to have to score points from the top, kind of like what he was doing with Roger Huerta before he got careless.
Yeah.
And Roger sunk in that submission. Danzig is going to have to be patient. Try to avoid the takedowns as best as possible. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but look for Guida to get a little careless and sink in a submission. Here's an interesting little fight stat for you. 55% of Mac's wins are via submission, and 55% of Guida's losses are via submission. Ooh. So in my opinion, that's a really bad matchup for Guida.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to be really careful. I think his hunger is going to win him this fight, though. I'm giving it to him via technical knockout, Matt.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I think for Guido to win this, he's definitely going to have to set a pace, but a pace he can keep through the fight. He can't, you can't come out there and destroy a guy for 2 rounds and then leave yourself open in the third. It's not going to win you a fight. Guida hits really hard. Ask Roger Huerta's chin. His fists hurt. Danzig, he's a good fighter. I don't really like the guy, but, he's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got some nice submissions. It's a hard one to call, but I'm going to give this one to Guida, decision.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, boys and girls, it's time for the main event! We got Nate Diaz versus Josh Neer. Matt, who you taking and why?
All right, this is a crazy fight, first off. Both of these guys they can win this fight without a doubt. One crazy thing I find about Diaz is every fight he's won, he's finished. No judges there. He's lost the decision, but he finishes them. I think he has 2 knockouts, or technical knockouts, whatever they are, and 5 submissions. That's a nice stat to have. You finish fights. Neer, crazy chin. He hits pretty hard. He can go the distance, definitely. It's a hard one to call. Diaz is willing to stand. If he's willing to trade with you. One thing about both Diaz's is they're calm. He can get in a bad spot like he did against Pellegrino, and he's just going to keep his cool. He's going to stay composed and look for that opening. I think if Diaz is going to win it, which that's the way I'm calling it, Diaz, it's going to be with a triangle.
Triangle, nice. Yeah. So you're looking for kind of a repeat from his last fight.
Yeah, I think that's where he's going to go.
Okay, all right. Yeah, both these guys are tough as nails. So believe me when I say either one of these guys can win it. You think Diaz, coming from Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, his deal is going to be on the ground. That's where he's wanting to keep it. And you think Josh Neer is probably going to want to keep it standing to keep out of those submissions. Tough one to call on this one. I think Kurt Pellegrino in that last fight with Nate Diaz really kind of exposed the holes in Diaz's stand-up game.
Yeah,
so I think, I think he's going to be ready to hit the ground pretty quick with a takedown.
Yeah.
But I see, experience being the advantage for Josh Neer on this one. Yeah. So I'm going to disagree with you, Matthew, and I'm taking freaking Josh Neer via knockout.
Whoa.
Well, guys, that is it for us. Thank you very much for all your comments and predictions you've been sending our way. We'll catch you guys next time. We got Mike Bisping versus a little guy named the Crippler, Chris Lieben, for UFC 89. But, guys, that is it for us. We will catch you on the flip side. Later.